he was going to do a radio show while coaching a team.
Way.
He can do a pod.
LeBron, my advice, don't do the pod, man.
My advice, do the pod. Stephen A is going to get a lot of angry texts from people. Oh, boy, if they do that pod. Brew, how should LeBron feel about this being his new head coach? JJ being his new head coach. I think
he should, just looking at the way he's handled things, I would be shocked if he's not fine with it. Like actually more than fine with it. I'm not saying he has something to do with the hire, but I can't believe he's displeased with this. He's LeBron James. And LeBron, I don't think cares what a lot of people think of him. All right, so I don't think he's just saying, oh, they're going to think I made the hire if I do. If he really thought there's no way we can put our team in the hands of a guy that has never coached, say something. Not publicly, but say something to Rob Pelinka and Jeannie Buss. Like, look,
really say something to
is
Linda Rambis if you want to get things moving in that organization.
Whoever, but make your voice known, and you've earned that. So I think LeBron stayed out of it. Maybe they were like, hey, you good with this? Or to Rich, is LeBron good with this? And I'm sure he has to be fine with it.
Go ahead.
I mean, it would go down as one of the most dysfunctional things I can remember in pro sports if they hired JJ Redick, LeBron's podcast co-host, and then LeBron was furious about it, opted out and left. How much egg on the face would there be for the Lakers? And I know they've been dysfunctional and have not handled these things great, but that's a level of dysfunction too far for me to believe. So I'm with you. I think LeBron is, at a minimum, fine with it and probably pretty excited about it.
He clearly respects JJ's basketball knowledge.
So, yeah, I think so. I guess, and again, I acknowledge that my opinion on this seems to be out of step with nearly everyone else. So sometimes that just, means I'm on the cutting edge. But sometimes it means I'm wrong. Right? No, sometimes it means I'm wrong. I think that LeBron can really enjoy talking basketball with him and respect his basketball knowledge, but also as one of the smartest players ever and a guy who has had kind of every different type of coach you can have. He's been in the league so long. He had a great coach in Spo. He had Ty Lue, who was an unknown and not unknown, but an unproven, who has now proven to be a great coach. A guy came over from Europe who it didn't work, and David Blatt, a retread, and Vogel had every type. I think he knows what makes and doesn't make a good head coach, and someone who can get through to not only the best players, but the most out of the other players. I think that is asking a lot of JJ Redick. I think that it is, and if you're
just because he doesn't have any experience?
Yes, because.
So do you think LeBron's disappointed?
I think that LeBron James did not want to be in a position where I have to choose to either leave Los Angeles or put the last couple years of my career in the hands of the least experienced coach in NBA history. I do not believe when LeBron started, and I know that this is, again, out of step with what a lot of people think. And I don't know what you think on this one, Brew. I do not think when LeBron started this podcast with JJ Redick, he was like, this is the first domino to him being my head coach.
I agree with you.
So I don't think LeBron, when things were clearly going the wrong way with Darvin Ham, thought, whomever it is, my next head coach is going to be the least experienced head coach arguably ever and younger than me. I just don't think he thought that's where this train was going to end, which is why I think he was excited about the idea that it could be Dan Hurley.
Then he should have said something. He talked to Hurley. And maybe he did, but he should have said something to the front office if he's that opposed to it. I don't think he's opposed to it. I do think that I don't see him leaving.
I don't either.
I see him leaving this, so I'm sure he's fine with it.
I don't see him leaving, but if he stays with the Lakers, it is because there are a lot of factors at play, and it's, to me, will signal, and this would have been no matter who they hired, that there wasn't a coach they were going to hire that he was going to leave.
Who else out there? Who would he have preferred? Because it's not like a great list
Well,
I mean, you
mentioned Monty Williams, who's new. I think Sam Cassell at least makes more sense. Like there is more.
I think Mark Jackson made more sense. But again, if you want one of those guys, push for him.
I thought,
You're LeBron James.
So that's a fair criticism. Is that if it should have been, he should have been more vocal in the coaching search.
I also don't think players care about experience as much as we do.
Yeah. We don't.
Really don't.
Maybe.
I agree.
We don't have a lot of time for this next segment. Luckily, the answer